Kia ora. Welcome to question 12 of the OpAmp assignment, okay? What we've got to do here is you've got to design a circuit in the simulator with a gain of 95. And do not change, right, the input value, in this case of 81 millivolts. So I've got to design a circuit at gain 95. You'll be given a different value, you'll be given a different input. And then come down here, so there's my gain, that's what I'm looking for. Oops, I've just drawn a resistor, let's remove that, I'll right click on that, delete. Okay, so I need to be able to draw an OpAmp, okay? So OpAmp, now which OpAmp circuit am I going to use? Let's just have a look at our OpAmp circuits that we've got and decide. So what do we know so far about OpAmp amplifiers? We've got the inverting amplifier, and we've got the non-inverting amplifier, and we've got the voltage follower. So the voltage follower has a gain of 1. That means that the voltage on the output is the same as the voltage on the input. Okay, and it's got its own special reasons for existing. Okay, so this one here, this is the non-inverting. The gain here is 1 plus R2 over R1, and the gain here is minus R2 over R1. So in my particular situation, what I've got to do is I've got to design a circuit with a gain of 95. So yeah, it means you've got to decide which one of these two circuits you're going to draw. Okay, which one you're going to create. Are you going to create the non-inverting or the inverting? Okay, so in my case I've got a plus 95. Right, now let's just go back to the simulator and I'll just run over how to design the circuit. So draw is where you get your components from. Active building blocks here. OpAmp with inverting on top, right? And the alternative is to draw an OpAmp with the non-inverting on top. And it just depends on which way you want to draw your circuit as to which one of those two you'll choose. Don't bother about choosing the ones with the power supplies on them. You don't need those, okay, for these exercises. So just use one of these two, okay? And then you've got to draw some wires and resistors. Well, there's a shortcut for drawing resistors. It's just press R on your keyboard, and then you've got a resistor, okay? And then double click on it, and you can change its value to whatever value you want, okay? No, in actual fact, you can't in this question, because in this question, what you've got to do is you've got to work out which two resistor values are going to give you a gain of 95 based upon what we call our E24 series of recommended values. Okay. Now, when you buy resistors, they come in specific values. You can't go out and buy yourself a 1196 ohm resistor. Well, not very easily or cheaply, that's for sure. So they typically come in the E24 range, and I've shown some of the E24 range here. Okay, and you can see that there are 24 values every decade. And for instance, they start at 10 and go to 91, start at 100, go to 910, start at 1K and go to 9.1K, start at 10K, go to 91K. And in this particular example, you have to choose resistors which are between the range of 10 ohms and 100K. You cannot choose 10 ohms, you cannot choose 100K. Do not choose those, it will mark you wrong, okay? Now then, what you've got to do is figure out which circuit you're going to use, and then which two resistor values are going to give you the same ratio, okay? Now you could use a couple of resistor values if your ratios don't look very good and you want to get a bit closer, because at the end of the day your output voltage has to be within 1% of the gain of 95 times your input voltage. So 81 millivolts to me multiplied by 95 will give me some voltage, and then I've got to figure out which resistor values, at least two, but I might need to use a third resistor value to help me with my voltage divider, which will give me a gain of pretty close to 95, or at least within 1% of the output, and that's usually good enough. Hopefully this will help you get going with this question. Cheers.